So Halo episode 6 came out last Thursday.
Yep.
And I know you and Will talked about the last episode, which was a really good. The last couple episodes have been really good. So I was really interested to what was going to happen with this one.
Well, I see, episode 5 was probably my favorite episode thus far. But this episode 6, I mean, it's good. It's definitely going further. They need to do some better character development, I think, a little bit, just on a couple of characters. Because there's
Like
some
with
people
who?
I still don't care about. Like with Quan, of course, Quan High, I really don't care anything about. Soren, I feel like you've gone away from him so much, you really don't know about him. Even Master Chief. The thing about Master Chief was kind of like the whole thing with the Mandalorian. The fact that he never took off his mask and him not knowing the way his feelings were, his emotions were, because he had a helmet on. I felt like that was a character in itself. So they went away from that, and I understand, but then you have to give him more. We have to have more insight into him then. I mean, because as in the Mandalorian, you start to really understand his character because he had his helmet on the entire time, and he tried to hide his emotion, and that's not what's going on. So I feel like they got to do a little bit more with that. Even with Keys, I feel like Dr. Keys needs to have a little bit more with her instead of just being the bratty girl that's trying to, prove her mother. I think that she needs more development from that. And I mean, all the Spartans, really.
Yeah.
Besides Kai.
I think they're gonna build up to the other Spartans, and I think the other two are not gonna be on the same page. That's what it kind of seems like.
That's why I want to see this stuff. And my last thing is for sorry guys. Everyone who's watched Halo knows really Halo is really about space exploration and going through seeing things, new worlds, and all this other stuff. And really, they've been on 3 worlds, and it's not really much exploration through space at all. So I'm just saying that should be where we're going towards. Really, that should be the focus going on now. And I'm only saying these things because I feel like they've done a good job developing the show. But now give us something for what it should be.
Yeah. I wonder that might be a more season 2 kind of thing. I think, like before Paramount or Showtime. Before we put more money into it, let's see if the story is good. Also, I didn't notice until the end of this episode, Steven Spielberg is a producer on this or executive producer on it. Yeah, I was like, dang, okay, that's always a good sign because he's he's one of the best. And Derby said, I hate Quan. I enjoyed her character first couple episodes, but she got more annoying than Jar Jar Blinks for me. Yeah. I didn't expect her to be a major character the way she kind of turned out to be.
I thought her and Master Chief had a good back and forth. Like I thought that was going to be the thing. She was going to be the child that he's protecting, that showing him his humanity and reminding him about his humanity. And that's not what we're getting anymore. So I feel like either they bring her back into the fold or just get rid of her character and let her just stay with Soren and get rid of Soren's character and let him raise her.
Yeah.
If that's what it's going to be. But I mean, they got to do one or the other.
Yeah. I also like, now you say that, I'm like, that would have been an exact kind of copy and paste of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's this guy who doesn't, who I mean, somewhat similar, like, oh, it's all about the mission. It's all about the mission. And then now he finds this kid and kind of discovers his humanity and stuff.
Well, but he also pulls out, he was being controlled and manipulated, and he's been kidnapped, and that's why he grew up without parents, so that's why he'll understand her now growing without a parent, and have more space exploration, and I mean, and then you can follow some of the Halo. But with all that said, what they're doing with Dr. Halsey is awesome.
Yeah. She, I don't know how I feel about her yet. And then real quick, Debbie says Quan tries to fight back on her own or something in episode 7. Okay.
which is stupid. And she should get shot in the face and it'd be the game over. Like, this would be annoying.
That's funny. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, whatever. She's kind of, I mean, I don't know. I don't care about her enough where I'm like, they can just stop telling her story and it'll be fine. But if you bring her back in, you need to do something worthwhile for sure. You know, so that's how I see it. But,
totally gotcha.
Yeah. Say this real quick. But yeah, what I was gonna say. So yeah, Halsey. How do you feel about her? Do you think she's a good guy or a bad guy?
She's a horrible person. She's the worst person I've ever been in my life. Like this, the way you treat your family. She even says, family really doesn't mean nothing to me. That's nothing. Obviously, we can see that. But
Derpy said they enjoyed the doctor too. Yeah, she's good. She's good.
No, she's really good. But what they do is, well, in the game, she's all about military, gaining strength, and all this other stuff. And here, it's really the opposite. She's really with the Spartans and developing them, and she doesn't have faith in humanity. And it's like, I think I read something that she is trying to save humanity by losing her humanity.
Yeah, but that's what her daughter says.
She's
like, oh, you saved humanity by sacrificing your own, or something like that.
Is it Miranda or?
Yeah. Yeah, how the planet is called Reach. Yeah. Their base planet, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. But I thought that was interesting. But that's exactly who she is, though. She will sacrifice everything. She cloned herself and raised it for years, and then just to use it for an experiment to get Cortana going on, like whatever. Like that's who she is. She doesn't care about anything else but try and get to the next point of thing that in her mind. And right now, you have power dangling in front of her, and I feel like that's all she cares about now.
Yeah, it's not even the power. I don't know if it's about the power or about the knowledge. You know what I mean? Because like she claims she wants to save humanity and blah 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 and all that stuff like that. But is it to save humanity, or is it for you to be just the smartest person? Like, I feel like she's the kind of person that like likes to claim that she's the smartest person in the room. Stuff like that.
I feel like if it was Miranda saving humanity, and she was part of it, she wouldn't like that. It has to be her being not just about saving humanity; it's about her saving humanity. It's about her own selfish stuff, and I think that's the biggest thing with her.
Yeah. But I don't know if she's good or bad yet. You know what I mean? She's doing a lot of bad things, but she says she's doing it for the overall good, which I'm like, okay, I guess, because like usually those characters you can find like something will kind of like trigger them to like maybe sacrificing everything isn't the best way. I think that's the route she might take, but also if she's a bad guy, she might just completely, just like, no, I'll burn everything down to save everything. It was like, well, that doesn't make sense. But
I can't believe they put it on house arrest, basically. I mean, the worst house arrest with the worst police ever, and then they gave her access to everything, but she's still in a house arrest, so they're trying to like slap her hand a little bit. So that was interesting.
Even with doing that, I thought I can't think of her name, but the lady in charge, like her boss or whatever, I think she did it on purpose, right? Because she's like, I still want you to do what you do, but you need to do it kind of in the shadows now. That was what I was getting from it.
Admiral Hood,
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 yeah. And Derpy, real quick, he says, as I've been saying the past 6 weeks, if you're looking for an accurate adaptation for video games, you're not going to get it with this show. But as an average person who doesn't know anything about it, Halo, they will enjoy it.
But I totally agree. Yeah, but I think what you still think about, like if he had a Star Trek show, you better show me some Star Trekking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not talking about like every character needs to be exactly the same or anything like that. But I think like there's certain things that you need to have in certain shows. You know, Fresh to the Bel-Air, you better have some money. You know, like someone better be rich. Yeah, I mean, there better be some fighting somewhere. I mean, I'm saying that's just things you have to have. Those aren't like maybe for carbon copies. I don't think you need to have that at all. And I think this show is strong enough to stand on its own. But I do believe you need to have some space exploration in a show called Halo.
Yeah, I mean, spoilers if you haven't seen this episode, but there's a part where they kind of, I guess, go to the Halo. They didn't say it, but that's what I assumed it was at the end.
Yeah, they were the euphoric pleasure they really had.
What was that? What that was?
Mackie and Master Chief. Because first he thought they were gonna die because the more you mess with these artifacts, the more you get sick, basically. And Master Chief was like critical. And he pushed through it to get to a point where they're like, we're fine now.
Yeah. Even that, I'm still kind of curious. Derby said, funny thing, it's really good show for the average person. That's what's hilarious. I mean, it's for somebody who just doesn't know. I think everyone knows Halo, like they know the character, and that's it. I wouldn't be surprised if people were like, "Oh, I thought the guy with the helmet was Halo," like stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, if you're not really into the video game, and if you're into sci-fi, I think this would be a good fit for it, where they take ideas and thoughts from the game and turn it into a pretty good show. But yeah. I just the average person, I'm gonna say the average person who doesn't play video games is probably gonna like this. But real quick, talking about like having something like you said, having a Star Trek and not having any actual Star Trek stuff in it. Exactly. Going back to like Book of Boba Fett, you know what I mean? It's like you have a Star Wars show without any Jedi Force, anything like that. Like you have these characters, and it was kind of lacking until you brought that in until you brought the actual Star Wars stuff.
If Grogu didn't have some type of Force, it was like, it's okay show, and then you saw that, you're like, oh, it's the greatest show ever.
Yeah, he's flipping and doing stuff, and Luke was there, and like that's when like, okay, because it's Star Wars, so you expect to see Star Wars stuff, so same thing with this. I think you start to see more of the game stuff, like the Warthog and the weapons. I think as they kind of start putting more of that stuff in it, would be cool. So I mean, there's still a lot more story and different ways they can get there. The producers and the writers didn't even play the games, but for a show, it's decent.
Yeah, but I like the characters. I like what they're doing. It's just I think that now you're past the first 5 episodes, so now you need to start digging a little deeper. Mackie, Maki, whatever her name. I don't know anything about her. I know that she was an orphan. She was on a garbage planet. They picked her up. That's all I know. And she speaks their language. That's it. I don't know much more about the Covenant. I don't know a lot about her. I don't know how her relationship with Master Chief is going to work. I don't know anything. I don't know where her motivation truly is. That's a character that you need to develop. It has nothing to do with the game, but you need to develop that character.
Yeah. Thank you, Will. Sharing stream. I appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, I don't even honestly. I didn't play the games that much, and if I did, it was just a shoot. It wasn't for the story.
Gets 4 people that you're on a different plane and you're shooting. That's all it is.
Exactly. Excuse me. But so I don't know too much of the story, and it's not really a bad thing if the producers and writers didn't play any of the games. You kind of like
it's good to
given the ideas.
Yeah.
Because if you want to copy and paste from the game, then
play the game.
play the game exactly. But if you want a story told, on TV, because it's very different. Like, because Master Chief, you are Master Chief. When you play the game, obviously you can't do that on a TV show. It won't work. So you had to give him his own personality and his own face, really. So yeah. But I mean, as soon as he took off that helmet, you should have already known like this is going to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what major else. So we're staying with Mackie or Mickey, whatever her name was.
It's Makee, Makee or
Makee.
Yeah.
What do you think she's playing the long con, or is she changing sides?
I think she's trying to play the long con, but her relationship with Master Chief could change her allegiances. So like she's going to try to take it up to that corner, and then she's going to feel something for him, and that's going to change everything because she's going to realize they're a lot more similar than they ever expected.
Mm.
And then that's what she might try to change.
She might be like, "Oh wait, I think they're trying to do like I don't know. I kind of hope they don't fall in love. I hope they're more like siblings, or they have this like connection where they're like a soulmate kind of thing, without the love part. I just don't want to see Master Chief falling in love or something like that. And I feel like they might, yeah. And I feel like that's what it's gonna happen because Chief, Kai, and Makey, whatever her name is, I think that might be a little jealous
triangle
thing, which I kind of like. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could watch episode 7 promo. It's not that long to you.
Yeah, but it comes out in like 3 hours. So.
A few hours.
I just wait 3 hours. Really okay.
Yeah.
But what I do want to talk about is Cortana and Halsey.
Yeah.
So Halsey, though she's being, locked up and all this stuff and house arrest, she believes Cortana is going to find a way to her. And everyone's like, how's that possible? She can't get past this firewall. And like 5 seconds later, Cortana shows up. So that relationship is actually the only relationship that Halsey's been able to maintain. I wonder, will she be able to continue to have that, or is Cortana going to eventually side with Master Chief? Because I mean, we didn't even talk about that. So Master Chief almost killed Halsey. Straight up.
Yeah.
Almost killed her. She's
hilarious. Yeah. Cortana's kind of I won't say funny, but it's different. It's really weird. It's weird. That's how I put it. It's weird. But yeah, like she almost, and I'm like, the whole time I'm like, is she gonna save him, or was she told not to do this to prove the point, to cover up for Halsey being able to control? And I'm like, I'm still confused. I'm like, what is it? Can she not do it? Can she do it and hiding it?
I think she can't. Totally. She can shut him down, but she can't take over his body.
Yeah.
I think that's what this is. She can't take over his body yet. But if Master Chief goes too far on the other end, then Halsey would be pushed to try to figure out some more things that she could do, because he's already implanted in his head. So, I mean, I think they could go that way with her. Or Cortana decides that, just like all the rest of Halsey's either children or surrogate children, she's a terrible mother, and they go all revolt against her. So like Keys, Master Chief, and Cortana all go against Halsey now because they find out that she's just a terrible person. And Cortana's had those instances where she's like, "What the hell are you doing? That just seems like a bad idea." So eventually, I think she's gonna get to that point, and we're gonna see that same thing as what Halsey is. She pushes. If you're not important anymore, she pushes you away.
Yeah. Dude, so we're really, I know, going back to like Halsey, how she used her daughter, and I was like, I'm like, were those real tears or were they fake tears? I was like, I'm assuming she like stole her like biometrics, either the eyes or face, whatever.
Yep, she needed her eyes,
so she can like hack into stuff.
Yep, and her voice, this is voice control. Everything's voice control, so she can go into everything that she needs with her voice. That's where she recorded her.
Yeah, I was like, damn. I was like, that's super cold blooded. That is cold blooded. I did not see that kind of really coming because I was
that's
like,
who she is, man. But that's a good character, and that brings interest into a show because you don't know what to do about her. You don't know what to say about her.
Yeah, like she's trying to save everyone's life, but I mean, she's not doing it in a good way. I don't know.
It's like she says, family's not a concept she believes in.
Yeah, which is like, and then I mean, well, then it comes up to the whole thing. It's like, I felt like when they were in the room and Master Chief and Halsey were talking, and all the weird holograms were there too, which was just weird. Like, I was like, you don't have to really be in there, right? I mean, you could just like listen to it on a speaker because that's all you're doing. I thought that was a little weird. I was like, you don't have to be VR in there or whatever.
Yep.
Like, you can literally watch a camera and listen to it over a speaker. It gives you the same exact thing. Like, you know, but like it's future, so they gotta be cool and shit. But what I got from that was the captain was in on it too, and is maybe Halsey isn't as attached because she's not like a real daughter. She's more of a test tube daughter for the captain.
I think that that's still her real daughter, but she just doesn't care about her. I really believe she just doesn't care. You know, it's like, oh, okay, you're a daughter just as much as these experiments. These are all my children. These are come from my mind. You came from my body. It's the same thing. You mean nothing more than they do. And I think that's exactly where it is. And I think even the captain, he knows who she is. And that's what he like. She uses him. He uses her. They know who each other is. You know, when you build with someone for 30 years, you know exactly who that person is, even if they're a bad person. You know exactly who the person is. So you know, they use you use them. Whatever. She has a lot of dignity. She's just so cruel. I mean, you can see, Miranda like starting to open up and cry and all this stuff. And then Halsey's like, yeah, still uploading this stuff. I'm still stealing everything from you. I told you it didn't matter to me. Just letting you know, still doesn't matter to me. Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you could say, like, I told you dead in your face that it don't matter to me. It was like, why are you
mad?
Like, I didn't lie to you. So, I guess. I don't know. And then Derpy saying, screw the emerald. She's a specific word. Yeah.
I don't say those words, but that's exactly who she is.
Yeah. I'm assuming that was a Hood. I think it was, right. Yeah. I think she has a plan. I think she's kind of scared that she's gonna lose her power. So that's kind of all she cares about is she wants to stay in power. But yeah, I was like, you kind of suck. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't want to say too much on it because I know we want to talk about another show.
Yeah.
So anything else?
More than anything, this is a good show. Every episode is doing better, but I want them to start to develop the main character so we know you can't have 10 main characters. That's just with any show. We need to figure out who are these who be our main people, and let's develop them. Let's get them started on their voyage because we're already on episode 6, going to episode 7. So now we need to start doing something about it.
Yeah. So like you said, I feel like every episode has been a little bit better than the last, but just like small steps. I'm still waiting for that part of the show where it's just like a giant leap and like the hook. You know, like I'm still interested, but I'm not like hooked in yet. You know what I mean? Like other shows like obviously like Mandalorian, because I think this one could have followed suit to that, and that would have been really good. And the Mandalorian at the end of the first episode was hooked. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be the first episode, so they still have time, but it needs to be sooner than
first
later.
Season. And right now, I put this on the level of The Expanse. I watched all seasons of The Expanse, and great concept, great characters. They made mistakes by not hooking people in early, and I think you can't do that with this show because it's named Halo. You need to first show the Halo, and then also need to have some space exploration. And third, you need to have one of those episodes that just brings everyone in. Like, that is 100% the best episode I've ever seen. You need that. You need that now.
Yeah, and hopefully we get it sooner than later. I think a good time is either right in the beginning or mid-season, and I think we're just around mid-season area. If you wait to the very end of the season, it might be too late.
It might be too late. Exactly. I mean, I think you have 9 episodes, I think, of this. So 7's tonight. So 7's tomorrow.
Shit, yeah.
And then 8
so it's almost
week.
done then.
So you have to start hitting. Get to where you're going now. You need to start getting there, and that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Dupree said, still waiting on the cameo from Beyonce to sing Halo.
She'll try to make the whole show about her still.
Right.
Never forgive you for Lion King ruining that.
Yeah, man, I blame Jon Favreau for that one. I don't know what the hell he was thinking.
Hyenas, let's get going. Whatever.
Cool. But yes, so we're still interested in it. We're still going to talk about it. I forgot it's not 9 episodes, so it's almost over. So they definitely need to get the ball rolling with
you need to have the
major
climax, hit this, and then end the season going into with a cliffhanger, and then that way season 2 is going to be something everyone wants to see, and hooked everyone in. That has to be what it is.
If you're watching our replay, appreciate it. Thank you. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Check out all the other reviews of Halo. Go check out our other TV shows and all of our movie reviews. So stay tuned for all that. We're gonna get to all the newer shows as well.